does not suit us. We're born for the storm.
Well, we were all in high school, and when we graduated, everybody was willingly to go. I mean, it was automatic. Went down to the post office, and there were so many youngsters signing up that they had to call you and they'd tell you, we got an opening here, we got an opening there, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, whatever. That's the way it was. We just automatically.
Awesome.
Country went to war, and everybody, turned to. Well, everybody was 17, 18 years old. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I mean, where could you find a better country? Where? Where would you go to have this type of opportunities, and where you can't even starve yourself to death? They'll feed you. You know what I mean? I mean, how could you beat this place? America. It meant to me, I really didn't know. I was happy, but I was you get kind of, I didn't know whether I wanted to come home or ship over, because 3 to 4 years, almost 4 years, with your buddies in the service. I mean, it's a big decision to make. I remember we left Tokyo Bay, and I was 20 then, and I turned 21 between Tokyo Bay and Honolulu coming home. But it was a big decision for me, and I came home, and there has been times I've regretted it, but it's a good life. I think it is.
For sure.
I think it was, Ending of the war to the country. I think people were so elated they didn't even think about the future, the after. They were just such a happy, people were just out of it when the war ended. V Day and VJ Day, God, they were, we weren't here, we were still overseas, but what we saw, and heard, I think people were happy, got rid of that, all the problems, a lot of problems, and then everybody turned to make a life for themselves. The fire controlman. I was a fire controlman. I don't even know if they have the rate anymore, but I was a fire controlman, gunnery, took care of the directors, computers down below, but I was always topside directors and rangefinder operator because I had stereoscopic vision. I was sitting in Buckner Bay, Okinawa. I think it's August 13th. The surrender, I think, was around August. In fact, the Pennsylvania got hit by a suicide plane right in front of us, and they beached it to keep it from getting sunk. That was on the 12th of August, I think. And the 14th was, I think we found out that it was, the war was ended. I'm quite sure. I can't remember for sure, but the thing that stood out in my mind most of all was that Battle of Saragawa Straits. Battleship against battleship. And I was in turret 2, operating a coincidence rangefinder. And I could see every projectile going through the big orange balls, look like garbage, at 16-inch, And the first salvo was no change. I forgot the name of the battleship, the Japanese battleship, but we got credit for sinking that battleship. That sticks out in my mind pretty good. We fired, I think it was 93 high projectile 16-inch rounds in like a matter of 12 minutes or 13 minutes, broadside, boom, 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 Yeah, I remember that quite well. everybody wanted to go out to sea, you know, and we were at Bremerton, been working on that ship for 6-7 months. You know, they raised it at Pearl, brought it back to Bremerton, and put a whole new superstructure on it, and redid the whole thing. And we were assigned to the ship. We wired up switchboards, fire control department, switchboards, main plot, secondary plot, the directors. So we were kept pretty busy. We were on it, you know, living on that ship 5 months, 6 months before we took off from San Pedro to go from Bremerton to San Pedro, take Mr. MacArthur back to the Philippines and Manus Islands. We had I think 21 kamikaze planes we shot down. That battleship, I think we had credit for a couple of destroyers or in that battle, you know. We're elated, just, you know, you were winning, you know. Which was kind of hard to adjust to, you know. It was kind of hard to adjust to. Otherwise, I came home, left home. I just turned 18. I was 17 when I went to the post office. I left for boot camp. I was 18. And coming home, I was more of an adult than a 17, 18-year-old kid, you know. And it was hard. I had to go back in the family house, and, you know, you got your mom there and your dad, and they still think you're little, you know. It's a little tough to adjust to. Yeah, I'll tell you, the first time when we were in the Philippines, that's where they started the kamikaze attacks. I never knew about a kamikaze attack. Nobody did. I was in main battery then. I was just standing on the O2 deck. All of a sudden, this plane came in and secondary shot down. It had to blow up from here to the sink. That's when I realized that, wow, this is real. This is real, you know.
Fate whispers to the warrior, you cannot withstand the storm. The warrior whispers, I am the storm.